Hey guys, it's MarksChild here. It is July 17th, and we just crossed over into Mythic. This is the Jank Mythic series where I take your challenge cards and bring them to Mythic. This month was Obeka Splitter of Seconds, Oko Lorwyn Liege, and Magda the Hoardmaster. Deck came in at 92%. It feels like a low 92%, whereas last month felt like a high 93%. Like that deck should have been rated higher, and this one maybe should have been rated lower. But either way, that's where it came in. It could all be in my head, and maybe this deck is just that strong. I'm going to go through this deck, kind of talk through the matchups, and then play some games at the end, just so whoever wants to play this deck can kind of understand how it goes. So essentially, the combo is you try to get like a Firdoch Core out, or maybe a Generous Plunderer, get a couple of treasures, get Thrumming Hivepool out early. Usually, it's something like play a 2-drop. Turn 3, get Firdoch Core. Turn 4, you get out Thrumming Hivepool, eat it to the face, and then you can kind of either get like a Ritual Chamber out and make it into a sliver and do 14 damage to the face, or kind of chip away or block. Maybe get Obeka out, which is kind of how this combo is built up. I'll walk through each card here. So Bitter Triumph is removal. You tend to run your life a little low. I learned that pretty much I don't want to play Unholy Annex unless I already have a demon available. Either the dagger's already out, Firdoch Core's in hand, or Oko is in hand or on the field. Just a lot of decks come in a little hot, and you need to wait back on your health pool. But Bitter Triumph lets you also discard a card for removal. The main reason for this is the 7-drop Planeswalker Dragon that's escaping me right now, because it does destroy Planeswalkers on site, along with I don't know why I'm blanking so hard. Elsbeth, the white token creator. The other part of this is that it's really good for Slick Shot Show Off. So if somebody plots a Slick Shot Show Off, this is the card that we use to remove it. It's pretty much our only way to deal with that super aggro red. Matchup that we really struggle with would be Skeleton Black. I'm not sure I ever beat Black Skeletons. Luckily, it's a pretty low percentage right now. Feed the Swarm isn't instant removal, but it does let us get rid of enchantments that the opponent controls. Also really nice to target tokens, because you lose life equal to that permanent's value. So even just the little otters, or if we hit a half mirror matchup, where somebody's using Unholy Annex, we can remove that 6-drop dragon for nothing. Generous Plunderer is a great growth card. It's also it's kind of our anti-artifact too. So if we play against Simulacrum decks, this guy is kind of MVP. They'll naturally build a whole bunch of artifacts themselves, and then you can just wipe them out with 1 or 2 swings. So that's really good. Obviously, it generates the treasures, which you use a lot, especially it's really nice to try to sit on 1 treasure just for Oko to flip later, although also Starting Town allows us to do that along with the Firdoch Core, but sitting on 1 treasure is really key. One thing to watch out for, though, is with Obeka, often you only want to do like 1 or 2. I mean, sometimes Obeka will be buffed where she's hitting for 5. You really don't want to give your opponent first shot at the mana. You want to be the one with the first shot at the free mana. So don't take a lot of it with Obeka. But otherwise, I pretty much always take the treasure token. I don't think giving 1 or 2 treasures to the opponent has really ever cost me any games. Stalactite Dagger is in there to proc Unholy Annex. So turn 2, if you can get this, and then play Unholy Annex on turn 3. It's very nice. Also, obviously, you can make other things slivers for when Thrumming Hivepool hits the field. Firdoch Core is in there for growth. It also can become a sliver that's a 4/4. Pretty key to the deck. I know I'm only running 3 of them. just because similar to like the legendary creatures, once you have one on the field, you really don't want another one. It's not really doing a whole lot for you. So I felt 3 got us enough that we were hitting combos reliably, but I wouldn't have a dead one sitting in my hand, and I'd just rather have anything else. Magda the Hoardmaster, honestly, probably is the least important card in this deck. It's in there largely because it was a challenge card. It is used and does fit in the deck. I'm not going to say, obviously, I ran 2 copies and not 1, but honestly, only 1 might have been better with another Stalactite Dagger. But a lot of times the 3 treasure tokens, especially when you stacked a bunch of Generous Plunderers, really generated a bunch of dragons. We don't have a lot of flying coverage. So, I mean, you only got 6 removal spells. You got the 5-drop demon. And a lot of times they're targeting this enchantment with removal just because everybody knows that the card draw is really good and the 2 health ping is really good. So a lot of times this will end up in the graveyard anyway. So having more aerial blockage and coverage is really nice. Also, a dragon for another 4, double strike haste can be really nice. Lorwyn Liege, very often you want to just sit and always take that 6 on the Shadowmoor Scion. Every now and then you'll, pop it early if you don't think you're going to make it, and getting the 2 Elks out, or even just digging for another Thrumming Hivepool if you have to, can be really good. This card overall is just great. I mean, every single piece of it fits into the deck. Obviously, making something a sliver gives it haste. It makes things demons also, so that gives you the demon coverage for Unholy Annex. When you target an opponent creature, it's really good when you play against Ouroboros. I can't stress that enough. Ouroboros comes out, it's a 2/4. By the time it gets to you, it is now a 0/4, and they are not ramping even though you can't remove it. Really nice. Also, if they have Unstoppable Slasher or something like that, they can swing, but it doesn't do any damage. It's not doing anything. Also, Oko, just for people see Planeswalkers and feel they have to remove them because they don't know what the combo is coming out of them. And so a lot of times, even just dropping it down when it's not going to do anything, at least protects your face just long enough to get out the important cards. Becca's Splitter of Seconds, the 2/5 body is surprisingly important here. It does tend to not have priority, as a better combo is really coming out with the Ritual Chamber. But if you don't have the Ritual Chamber, or you only have the 4 mana, this is great. Also, like I said, the 2/5 blocker tends to get around a lot of things, which is great. And you can make it easily a 3/6, which gets around even more. So can't stress the body enough. Obviously, it procs the Thrumming Hivepool, and that's where it really accelerates the game. But yeah, and just again, don't try to do it with Generous Plunderer, and be careful because it has to proc Thrumming Hivepool. I actually almost lost the final game that put me into Mythic because I was playing against Mono White, and they had Authority of the Councils, and I attacked to put them down to like 5 health and forgot that now I'm going to proc this 10 times because I actually had Oko's effect on the field. So this was a 5/8 with Vigilance. And yeah, then their Pride Bane was like a 25/25, and they gave it flying, but luckily I lived with 1 health. Deadly Cover Up is honestly probably a better removal than Villainous Wrath. I don't know how I feel about splitting them anymore. I might run 3 Deadly Cover Ups just because every now and then I hit where the opponent has himself be hexproof, and then you can't cast this. So that is a problem. And getting the 1 treasure token isn't really worth it. That being said, there's nothing more satisfying than hitting like a person that made 18 billion squirrels and just killing them with 1 card, even though you had no answers besides that. Deadly Cover Up also helps you thin the opponent's deck. one of my favorite wins, I think, climbing up was I played against, mono green and was able to put a creature, one of their forests, into the graveyard, and then he had no lands in his deck. So that was pretty fun. Unholy Annex, staple of black at this point. Really, there's not a whole lot to say. You get a lot. It's kind of our backup win condition with just getting a bunch of Unholy Annexes out and pinging them down, and then the Ritual Chamber being the second part of, a huge damage burst. Yeah, real core card. Thrumming Hivepool, being the last card, I kind of talked about it. It's there to give haste to pretty much everything, so always be looking for lethal, especially with Unholy Annex just sitting back there giving you an extra 2 or 4 damage. Even just the double swing with Firdoch Cores when you're playing against something that's just counterspelling all your cards. 8 damage per turn can feel unstoppable. As far as lands, a lot of times you pretty much just want to get the pain lands down on turn 1, even though you're sitting on starting town, unless you have Oscorp Industries. That's the only thing that really takes priority turn 1. Other than that, normally I play as many lands as I can without taking damage, because we really are trying to mitigate health coverage, because you tend to really plays like a true mid-game deck, and so you need to take some face damage. So that's really how it is. There's a little room for growth. Not sure how useful you'll find Magda to be. It's fun, and I hope I did the challenge to the fullest extent. And now we will play a couple games. I will be dropping the lore video probably tomorrow. Had some positive feedback, and it was fun to make for me anyway. As you can see, we came in at 92%. This really is a bad hand. This is much better. Hard to say what I should get rid of, though. Obviously, I need the 3 lands. This plus this gives you a demon, 2-drop. I don't know what I'm playing against, so I'm a little worried that I need to have removal right off the bat. I'm going to get rid of Oko. So I assume this is mono white enchantments. Pretty much need to get lucky into drawing into a board wipe. I do have 3 in the deck. It's going to help a little bit that I can use Unholy Annex to get there. I might on turn 2 here discard a card or just take out Optimistic Scavenger just to buy some time. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm hoping he's going to try to buff one of these, and then I can save the mana there. And really doesn't matter which one it is. I'm just trying to buy time for me to get to a board wipe. Because if you can clear the board against this deck, it doesn't have a really easy time coming back, and you'll just hold card advantage, especially with Unholy Annex. But like I said, we don't really have a huge favorable matchup. This is more of a problem just because we have a hard time getting through Ward 2. So I'm just gonna. I was hoping to try to bait out him making something immune. I do worry I'm going to want to get through this. So I'm just going to take a little bit of damage. This is really risky, and I said in the beginning that I really don't want to play Unholy Annex without a way of getting out of it. But I'm really trying to dig for a board wipe. And even better, he's going to remove it for me. So I got 1 dig for 2 health. It's not a big deal. But this is the problem now, because this has Ward 4. That's why I knew that I had to get a board wipe, or he has to not have Skyward Spider. That's really where this deck is weak. 5, 6, 7. I mean, I think we pretty much just lost here. It's only 1 damage. So I think we lost. It's unfortunate. I can't even play the land, even if we have a board wipe now. And I'm going to have no flying protection, so it doesn't matter. Let's just see what would have been. Didn't matter. So maybe a low 91. Probably didn't need to give a frowny face, but that is one of the weaker matchups. And I wish they had more range on the smiley or unsmiley. Oh, this is runnable. So we're just going to try to stack these 2, which would make that 4, and on turn 4 I'll be able to go, assuming he doesn't wipe. So that's what we're going to do. Kind of scary because Thrumming Hivepool, as I talked about in the game where I got to Mythic, this will buff a lot of stuff he has. Interesting. Huh. I think I'm just going to get rid of it. Fortunately, that doesn't let me get my turn for Thrumming Hivepool out, but counts the same. I'm just actually not going to tap this just in case he is. The board wipe split up, I think, is what it is. Yeah, I don't think 1 damage is going to make or break this game. just going to try to get this up to 7, and hopefully I get a way to generate mana by then. There's only one Oko left. I think I have 2 more Feed the Swarms. Not the worst. I do kind of need lands. Maybe I'll get Starting Town here. Oh, that might be game. I have no way of giving haste. And he can infinitely delete my board. Wow, that's a good play. That might be game. Unfortunate. Well done. $43-40. Yeah, it's over. It would be nice to show a win. But we'll play one more. Hopefully it's at least showing how to play the deck. We'll roll with it. Try a different pattern here. Does have 3 treasures. Well, we won the aggro matchup. Although he could have deleted the treasures, but one more. One more. Go 500. A lot of growth, no payoff. Let's hope we get it. Got 8 out of 53 cards. A lot of times I'd rather have the beginning than the end. Just 8 out of 53 is like, was that like 15%? It's like, what are the odds by turn 4 that I don't hit one? Could be 100%. Thrumming Hivepool, Thrumming Hivepool, Thrumming Hivepool. Black green ally deck. What if I just didn't attack here? I have a sneaky suspicion that this is leading to a combo, but I don't know what it is. I only have a minute left in this video. That'd wipe my board, but that doesn't really matter because I'll regen it. The video cut out, but land came in, and then he wiped the board with what he had. I'm just going to keep doing face damage while protecting my own face. So sorry about that cutout. I can only do 30-minute increments. And hopefully the audio doesn't scuff, because sometimes it does that. Sure is taking his sweet time, though. What if he had Riku's Second Reich or whatever it's called that kills me at 10 health? So there you go. So hopefully that shows you guys how this deck works. Kind of recapped it. That low 92, which is why it's probably sitting at 91 right now, is where it came in. Yeah, and the lore video will probably come out tomorrow. So if you like that, follow, subscribe, whatever. Hope you enjoy this deck. Hope this video is helpful. And until next time, keep on brewing.